Now they do?
Yes.
August, I'm my mom's son. Say hi, Mom. Say hi.
Hi. You need to clean your nose from that nosebleed. That's a mess.
Today we're going to Vegas.
Okay. Tell them you see them later. Because I thought I thought you were going to introduce me. That's a lot. Okay. Okay, just say bye. Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty in the Frizz. My name is Cara. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for another one. So it's Sunday, mimosas and makeup. So I have a well-deserved margarita spritzer. I don't know if that's a drink, but let me tell you what's in it. So we've got the Jose Cuervo tequila, or it might be Margaritaville, the silver tequila, a little bit of Bacardi Dragonberry, a little bit of Bacardi Pineapple. We have some sparkling water. It is the Target brand Strawberry Mango. Let's give it a little fizz. And then we have the Jose Cuervo Margarita Mix, which is very, very sweet. So we needed that sparkling water. And then I did cut up some strawberries and peaches. For those who don't know, Marky and August both have COVID. Tyrone and I are okay. We are going to not claim it. As of this afternoon, August has been doing amazing, and Marky had some type of miraculous overnight version. So we're just chilling in the house. Yeah, you see he's doing all right. It was a little touch and go there for one day, but it felt like a week. It was one day, but it was like the episode when Martin was sick, how he was harassing Gina. He just could not, it was just so much. I don't know. I don't know if I can link that episode, but boys, I don't know if it's boys, but like getting sick, it's like they just can't, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do the June roundup. It's like reviews and favorites and fails all in one. I absolutely love doing this video. So if you want to see what I'm liking, what I'm not liking, and just how I'm feeling about everything I tried in June, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think. What have you really been reaching for? What have you been loving on? What have you changed your mind about? What is a total fail? Please let me know in the comments, because I love talking about this kind of stuff. And if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy and you want to hang out with somebody that feels the same way, definitely consider joining the community, because I would love to have you back. All right, let's get started. Living his best life, that's all I can say. So we're going to be talking about everything today. We're going to be talking about fragrances. We're going to talk about lipsticks, glosses. I'm just looking at my bed here. Blushes, palettes, of course. You know we're going to talk about palettes last, of course. We've got skin tints, concealers, bronzers, highlighters, powders. We've got it all. So let's get started with fragrance. I'm excited. This has been like my new thing lately, because I'm trying to cut down on the eyeshadow palette, y'all. I'm really trying. I think I'm succeeding, but I'm trying. This is the House of Sillage sampler set. This sampler set was $50, and this is their signature sampler set. So this is all of their signature scents. There's 10. And I was really happy with this. I didn't like every single one. I do have to kind of wear some a little more than others. Like there are some that are almost gone. Like Love is in the Air is almost gone. I actually purchased that one. And what else is gone? Benevolence is not even in here. I think I used that all. So those two, I did purchase the full size. So I'm going to talk about those in this video. But if you are interested in House of Sillage, or you want to just try it out, I think this price point was not bad. Now, the cupcakes range in the $300 price range. It's $3.95. I mean, they're expensive, but they have sales all the time, because the ones that I purchased like were 50% off. They have some that are 60% off, some that are 70% off. So when I think about like my Tom Ford, my Tobacco Vanille, and how like the regular bottle of that, let me grab it. Now this was a gift from Yachty and Dr. Ash, but this was, I know, $300 something, almost maybe $400. Now don't get me wrong, oh, this is, I wear this all the time. This is like my signature scent. And so it is, oh my God, it is less than halfway full at this point. But this is, I've had this for 2 years now, I think, because for my last birthday, they got me Bitter Peach. So this has really lasted me a long time, but this is not a bottle that I'm going to necessarily keep. When I'm done with this, I am keeping this. It is going to stay. I am not throwing it away. This is an art piece, so I feel like for less than the Tom Ford, I am getting an art piece as well. This is 100 ml, and I think this one is 75 ml. So we're gonna talk about three. We're gonna talk about 3 of the House of Sillage full size ones that I bought, cupcakes. I don't know if that's what they call them, but that's what I'm calling them. So this one is Benevolence. And look at all of these crystals. This is gorgeous. Now, right now, this one is $360. Did not pay that. I think I may have paid $144. I think $144 for this is very reasonable, especially when I just showed you like my Tom Ford bottle. The top notes are almond oil and bergamot. The heart notes are orange blossom and jasmine. And then the base notes are vanilla and sugar. I love this. And I think one of the things in the description that it said, it was just like, the scent is an essence of comfort. And that's how this feels. That's how it smells. It's really nice. And if you like those types of notes that I mentioned, Benevolence might be a good one for you. But I would say start with the sampler set, because I don't know. Remember I talked about the Batman one? That one went on sale, and I just, like I said, it does smell like gasoline, Gotham, and apples, and I still, I don't know. It's not enough for me to get it. Okay, the second one that I purchased the full size of is Love is in the Air. Now, I did not purchase all of this at once because I am not rolling like that at all. But this one was $144, and it's still that price now. Benevolence will go back on sale. It just isn't right now. So the notes, the top notes are plum and black currant. The heart notes are jasmine and cedarwood. And the base notes are patchouli and musk. For some reason, this one kind of has a powdery, a little bit of a powdery scent, but I love this one. I really do. I've been wearing these all the time. So that's the second one. Now, there was one more that went on sale, and if you know me, you know I had to get it. There was just gonna be no, oh, I'm not sure. And that was the Disney collab. And you know, I wear my ears all the time, and I love Disney. And again, this one went on sale. This one was, I think, 40 or 50% off. And yeah, I really wanted to try this one. This one honestly was a blind buy for me because I didn't have a sample of it to try. I had never smelled it before. And the lipstick bow went on sale too, but I was like, Cara, no. Like, are you even walking around with that? You know what? I might be bad and bougie and walk around with it, but not right now. I couldn't be doing all that. Now, this one is not on sale right now, but it will go back on sale. The notes for this one, the top notes are bergamot, mandarin, and cardamom. The heart notes are orange blossom absolute, coconut milk, and cocoa absolute. And then the base notes are modern amber, sandalwood, tonka, and vanilla. This one reminds me of kind of like a grown-up tropical coconut. I don't think everyone will like this, and I will say this one isn't my favorite, but I do like it. I think Wonder Woman's my favorite. I had tried Wonder Woman a long time ago. My friend Al Feisty here on YouTube sent me a sample of it, and I always loved it. It's like a grown-up marshmallow. It is so nice. It just depends on my mood or my feel about which one of these I'd like to wear, but they are being worn and they are long lasting. So I think for the price, like, I will never ever get rid of these. Now, I try another sampler set in June, and this was by the brand Contradictions in Ilk. I found out about this brand from Charlotte Holcroft. She had purchased the sampler set from Selfridges, I believe, and that's where I purchased this, and there's 2 missing. They're probably in my purse somewhere. These are very, very unique notes. I will link the video on this. I had August help me out with the fragrances and what he thought about them. But they've designed these fragrances to wear in pairs, but obviously you can wear them however you want. And I just thought they were really unique. And it was a great experience smelling these. There were some that had some really different notes like rubber, you know, things like that. I wasn't a huge fan of. But when you read the story behind the scent and you just think about, you know, what you're smelling, it was just like a fun experience. I think this was $55, and I did really like a lot of the samples. I'm not ready to purchase any of these full price at this time because I've been wearing the House of Sillage ones a lot. So I'm gonna keep testing these out, and then we'll see. But I thought this was like cool to smell and experience and learn about another brand. So that's going to be it for fragrances for June. Let's go ahead and talk about lips. Now, last month I talked about the Juvia's Place Nubian Earth lipsticks. I got 5 out of 6 of them, and I really like them. But out of all of the shades I purchased, I think the one that I have really gravitated to the most is the shade Nile, and it looks like just your regular brown, but there's like this really unique yellow undertone with this that is different from a lot of lipsticks I have. I just don't recall having this shade very often in my collection at all. And I think this might be my favorite out of the bunch. I do like all of them. I just wanted to mention Nile again because I think if you wanted to try one, this would be the one. Now this is very warm. Like I said, it's kind of has like a golden kind of yellowy kind of base to it, but this one really stands out to the point where I'm mentioning it another month later. So definitely a great purchase, and at this point I'm sure some sales are going to be coming up with these lipsticks. Another lipstick I wanted to mention that I purchased a while back that I really still love a lot is by Natasha Denona, and this is the I Need a Nude lipstick in the shade Amorosa. I think this was out for a long while before I finally purchased it from the Sephora sale, and this is almost like a cool tone pink. So whenever I do have on a cool tone look, this is the first lipstick I think about, the first one that I come to. I wear it often without a liner because I kind of like that pale lip look sometimes if I'm doing like a cool look. It's just one of my favorite lipsticks. I always have it out, and I looked at it for a long time. I can't remember when this came out. It might have been with the Mini Love palette. I don't know. Don't give me the line. I don't know. I do know that I really like this one, and I continue to have it on my dresser. It is like my cool tone favorite for lipsticks for the most part. I have a couple others I like, but for June, I did use this one. Want to come back to these products from Makeup by Mario. I find that I just throw these in my purse if I just want to have a little balm or gloss, like chapstick. That's how I find myself using these. I don't know if there's anything really truly special about these. I'm sure there's some nice ingredients for your lips in them, but with these two, I just find that they're easy to give my lips a little bit of color and like the gloss, you know, look, no matter what I have on. Makeup, no makeup, they're just easy. And so I do find myself going to these from time to time. I did use both of them in June, so I think these are great. You know, I probably could have just had one. I decided to pull out my Pat McGrath glosses. I have not used these in so long, but putting them on just reminded me that these are my favorite lip glosses, period. I bought a lot of lip glosses when she had a $12 sale last year. This is the shade Twilo. I love this one. They don't give me like a white line. They don't cake up. They're pigmented. I have several of the mini sets, which these are great. I have the one with like lavendering, and I have the red ones. I don't wear a lot of red lipstick, but those glosses for like the price point, I think they might have been 25 bucks or something like that, was great. So I'm wearing these all the time. I don't know where Peach Perversion is. They are great. No liner, I don't need anything else with it. For lips, that's where I'm at this month. A lot of glosses, a lot of balms. I am really feeling that. I probably will have purchased some of the new Lisa Eldridge shades that are being revealed on the 8th. Let's move on to the next category. We're gonna talk about, let's talk about foundation and skin tints. I'm mad because y'all see the whole change of clothes. I deleted the whole rest of my video trying to save space on my card. Maybe I should have more than one card. I believe we are getting into some of the face products, starting with skin tints. So let's go ahead and get into that now. I did not try any new like skin tints or foundations this month, so just revisiting some old favorites. Let's first start with the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop. This is the blurring skin tint, and I think with the release of so many skin tints and water tints and foundations and all of that, we kind of just forget some of the things that we had and that we loved. And I think this is a great blurring skin tint. The shade match is great. The finish is great. There really was no need for me to try any more skin tints, to be totally honest with you. This is number 13, and I mean, I still have like half of the bottle left, so I really want to continue using this and make sure that I keep it in the rotation because this is really good. I also brought out my Glowish skin tint, and this is the Multi-Dew Skin Tint by Huda Beauty. I have this in shade 5. I would say this is probably a little less than half full. Again, another nice glowy skin tint. It may have a little more glow than the Fenty. And you know, this was like the newest thing at one point. And I liked it so much that I bought a backup, and then I don't even know when I'll ever get to that backup with all the other things that I have. So lesson learned, you don't really need to buy backups, but this is good too. So putting it back in the rotation. I brought this out when I used the new concealer, which I'll talk about in a few. Last but not least, I have also by Huda Beauty. This is the Faux Filter Foundation Stick. This is in the shade Baklava. This is 340G. This is great. There's just no, the amount of foundation and skin tints, and see, I've used a nice amount of this, but I don't know why I have the desire to try all this new stuff when I have things that work great for me. If you were curious about any of those products, I think they're excellent. I really do. And I just think with the Glowish, if you don't want a glowy, you know, finish, don't get this. But the Eavesdrop and the foundation stick have a very nice natural finish, and I just this is so good. It makes your skin look so smooth. Like the other day my sister was like, what's on your face? She's like, it just looks so smooth. And I was like, it's this Huda Beauty Faux Filter. And the thing is like with this, I feel like I use way less products with the sticks because I just tend to put it where I need and then kind of diffuse it out. So you really do have less on. So I was just taking it as a compliment that my skin looked nice because I didn't have much of this on. It just enhanced it. You know what I'm saying? This is so good. So moving on to the concealers, I just mentioned the Faux Filter concealer. I feel like this one, well, actually both concealers that I tried. I have the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. I think both of these are full coverage and brightening. I really do. And honestly, when I used just like a light skin tint, these are just almost too full coverage, you know what I mean? But I like that because you can really build both of these up to what you need them to be. So I just know that for certain looks that I'm going for, to just use a little less. I think both of these concealers are great. Note to self, I really don't need to buy any more concealers this year at all. This is gonna take me well into next year. So I need to just lay off of the concealers because these are great, and these are not the only two concealers that I have. So I can lay off of these. Now, just so you know, I have Cookie Dough in the Huda, and in the LYS, I have MG5. I think both of these are pretty good matches. For bronzer, another product by LYS is the No Limits Bronzer, Cream Bronzer Stick in the shade Harmony. Love it, very nice. So the thing with me and bronzers is I personally have never tried a bad bronzer. So I can't say anything special about this compared to Rare Beauty, compared to my Chanel cream bronzer, compared to my Gucci bronzer. It's more of like, do I like the color? Do I like how it goes on my skin? The answer is yes. I don't have a bronzer where I'm like, not using that one anymore. Ooh, I was gonna have one. It was the Glowish bronzer. That one got hard pan, but I did use the tape trick and it got it off. But let me know if your Glowish bronzer got hard pan, because that's one where I was like, I can't even use this because nothing was coming up. But once I got the hard pan off, then it was fine. But at the same time, who's trying to deal with that? Not me. The Rare Beauty bronzer, I like this one too. This is in Happy Soul. It's lighter than the Harmony blush. It's one of my lighter bronzers, but I don't always go for like these deep bronze snatched looks. I don't know if that's the look for me. So I like these sticks. They are easy to apply. They're easy to blend out. And I love how they sit on my skin. I really don't have an issue with either of these bronzers. Do I need to have them both? I probably don't need 85% of what's in my collection. I think these are really good, and I'm gonna continue to use them until they are no more. So let's talk about blush next, and a couple of the blushes I'm gonna wait for because they're in part of a collection. But I did bring out my Glowish blush by Huda Beauty. Again, this came out with the whole Glowish line. This is a nice blush. I didn't have the hard pan issue. It's a nice little berry color. Probably won't repurchase this because I have a lot of blush. Pulled out my Bright Poppy blush by Mr. Wayne Goss. Definitely would repurchase this if I can ever use these big pans. This blush is so bright. And what I like about this is it's gonna work. It works, not going to work. It works. It has to work on so many skin tones because of how bright it is. And the highlighter is also really nice too. I love how you can use the blush by itself, the highlighter by itself. You can mix and match. I love that about these blushes. Even though the pan sizes are ridiculously big, if you are using big brushes, you're not gonna have a problem with getting it in the pan. I said I would repurchase it, but as of right now, no, because I just have a lot of blush. Now, I did try to come up with my own version of Paradise Glow from the Pat McGrath duo. So I pulled out Desert Orchid, which is one of my favorite blushes in my entire collection. So I put that with Paradise Venus and felt as though this was a pretty good dupe for the Paradise Glow blush duo. And I don't think it's exact, but I think it works enough that I'm not gonna buy Paradise Glow, maybe unless it's like deeply discounted. And I also brought out Nude Venus as well. Again, just trying to achieve that Paradise Glow look. I do mix Nude Venus and Desert Orchid all the time. So those stay favorites in my collection. I did try 2 highlighters. So the first one, well, I didn't try it. I bought them out, and it's funny because I was just looking at Hourglass and LYS with the triangle shapes. Anyway, I bought this from BoxyCharm for like $9 a while ago. This is the Vanish highlighter in Rose Gold Flash. So that's what it looks like. I've just been such a huge fan of these highlighting sticks lately, and I just love this. It's so smooth. It just goes right into your skin. I love anything that's gonna give me a look like a light sweat. I'm all into that. And so I was like, you know, I have this, I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna try to use it up. I think it's a really nice highlighter, and I love anything that's like that rose gold color. I did purchase by Skin Glass Beauty. This is the Skin Glass highlighter, and this is the OG. My original plan was to do a video comparing this to the Hygiene primer that Natasha Denona came out with, and I never got around to it, doing too much. So I have used this already, and this is gold. She has different colors, and had I known, I probably would have gotten like the rose gold or the champagne. But when you blend this out, I mean, it's not super gold, you know what I mean? So this is really natural, and this one is a healing highlighting oil. Some of the oils that it has in it are grapeseed oil, jojoba oil, and neem oil. All three of those are very good for your skin, and they are hydrating. So to have a highlighter that has those oils in it gives you an added benefit. Now, I'm not trying to buy a whole bunch of powders, so I brought out my Tatcha Radiant Translucent Setting Powder, and I just forgot how much I like this. I have so much left. It's a great finishing powder. You can use it under your eye, but I usually use the Pat McGrath one, but you can use it all over. And it has this little circle in here where the powder comes out, and I really do have a lot left. So just another note to myself that I don't need any powders, you know. Bringing these products out is just so important for me, just to hold myself accountable and just to remember the good things that I have in my collection when I'm feeling tempted to think that I need something else. Because I remember when this came out, like, people were really excited because it's Tatcha, you know, but now there's like all these other powders that have come out, so it loses its sparkle, you know, and I'm trying to bring the sparkle back. For setting, I tried the Pacifica Vegan Collagen Hydrating Setting Mist. I got this from Ulta. This spray has the best mister, period. It is like I don't even know. It's just not like the Urban Decay one I have, where it's like part of it is like spraying hard and the other part's not. This is like such a fine, it's a fine mist. I don't know if y'all can see that, because it's super fine, and I love this. And if I don't want to repurchase this, I can just put something else in it just for the mister. This is all worth it for the mister. As far as setting my makeup, I think it works great for that too, but the mister is the gem here. New brow product, y'all. So for the longest time, I've been using the Maybelline, hold on, the mail is here. No packages. For the longest time, I've been using the Maybelline Tattoo. It's like a micro brow pencil, and then the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. I don't use any of those anymore. Nope. Because I discovered the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Pomade, and this is in black brown, so it's the same black brown that I get in the micro pencil. Y'all, I don't know if y'all can tell. Okay, they don't look that good right here. I don't care. This is so good. I feel like it just, I don't know, to me, my brows look really natural. I try to make that natural look, and I really love this stuff. It's easy to really make those like hair strokes, just like you do with the pen, but I don't know, I feel like I just like it better. All right, friends, without further ado, let's get into what we all want to talk about, which are eyeshadow palettes. Now, I'm gonna start with the collections I try, and there are 2. But there's not a whole lot of new eyeshadow palettes this month, which makes me proud. Let's start with the Odin's Eyes Soul Moon collection. Yes. Now, y'all know Odin's Eye is one of my favorite brands. So this palette, I think, is beautiful. I love it. We could do without this first row, and I would be very content with just these bottom 2. But it's beautiful. It wouldn't be a Soul Moon palette without the blue row. And the blues are beautiful. I think that this palette has the same consistency as the other palettes that I have from the brand. This is my favorite row in the palette. I love these 2 shades right here. I just think it's a great palette, great concept. And I am always happy to see what Odin's Eye is coming out with. Now with the collection, I purchased 2 of the blushers, the Sunlight Love blushers. I think the way that they designed the package for this was awesome. And the high point of this was that the glitter on the front that I thought was creating an ombre effect, which went through the whole pan, was an overspray. So I was so happy about that. Now the shade Sienna Luster is definitely a beautiful satin. Not sure if everybody would like that for their blush, but definitely works for a blush topper, a blush if you like that texture or that finish, or maybe a highlight on some tones. I thought it was beautiful. And then I also have another shade, I think it's Peach Gleam. Yes, Peach Gleam. Beautiful. Yes, look at that color. It is just, this is such a beautiful color. Again, this is one where I can't use a whole lot or I'm gonna look like a clown. So I think that these were great shades. And this collection really leaned orange. So I thought that was great, like for the sun vibe, you know what I mean? I just thought it was cute. I did get the mirror, and I love the mirror because you have that, that magnification on one side, which is great. So you don't have to, you have it in one mirror. It's like a twofold, you know? So I love that. Now the second collection that I tried for June was the Carpe Noctem palette from Notoriously Morbid, and I cannot believe how quickly this palette disappeared. But this palette is very lovely, and the high point for me was putting these shades over the black base because it really doubled these shades. These shades were pretty opaque without the black base. It just made them a little more rich, but these were very rich. This one just added a whole nother dimension to these shades. I'm not gonna harp on it too much because it's gone. I just can't believe, I wish that their palettes, some of them, the ones that people really want, are always so limited edition. Like I have the Friday the 13th one sitting up there, and I did start working on a video for that, and I was like, I guess it could be like an inspo video, but I don't know if I should even do it because I'm like, it's gone. It's gone. It's like it never was, you know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with this. Now what I do think is still existing from the collection are some of the other items. So there were these Litany liners, which were great. They were named after Rainbow Bright characters, and these are very long lasting. They have all of the shades of the rainbow, which I thought were great. They always send me these crystal gem toppers. I don't really use these. They're just a bit glittery and chunky for me. But if you like to add like that type of glitter on your eyes, your lips, or your body, you can do that with these gem toppers. There were these Diablo lipsticks, and these were these like very metallic colors. I would not wear those colors on an everyday basis, but for a special situation, or you know, at work, sometimes we do stuff with characters and we dress up. I would definitely consider using it for those, but that's not going to be something that I wear all the time. I do like the Mystic Metallics, and these are these duochrome lipsticks. They have a nice finish and feel to them, and they're duochrome. Again, this actual tone is a little bit deep for me, but I always like trying what Notoriously Morbid sends me, and it's just a vibe and a mood, you know what I mean? So I like getting into all of that. The highlight for me, of course, was the palette, which is not available anymore. So we're just gonna move on. Now I'm very happy to report that all of the rest of the palettes that I tried in June were not new. I am just going to my collection and using what I feel, and that's it. And that feels really good. And it feels good to not succumb to the pressure of like, you have this new palette or this new palette. I'm just gonna wear what I want. So let's start with Supreme Bronze from Artist Couture. I really like this palette. I've only used it a small handful of times. Small handful means 2. And what I like about this palette is I love you have this kind of cool row here to just give you a whole different vibe than what these 2 rows are giving. I think that just adds something unique to the palette. And I think the quality of the palette is great, the mattes and the shimmers. I know with the newer palette, there was some disappointment there. And I actually had that palette until I looked at my collection and it was like, Cara, you really have this color story several times over. So I just returned it right away. One of the reasons that I did return the palette is because of this one, which is the Vive Muse palette that I brought out in June. This is just a great basic palette, you know what I mean? And the difference between the Muse palette and the Essential is that with the shimmers, she changed her shimmer formulation to match one of the shimmers that was in the first palette, I believe, because people just like that one better. These are just very soft, easygoing shimmers, easy to use. You're not gonna see them from a mile away. It's not like Terra Moons or anything like that, but you are gonna get some great mauve-y tone looks from this palette, and the mattes are so good, so good. So I am really happy to have this, and with all of these types of palettes, they're great to pair with my indie singles. So this is a really nice palette. I also love how, I mean, she purposely did the palette to fold back like that. It just makes it a little bit easier to use, and I think that's a really cute touch for the Vive palettes. So love that one. I brought out one of my favorite all-time palettes, which is the Natasha Denona bronze palette. This might be my favorite Natasha Denona palette. I'll have to check into that. But you know what I love about this palette is there's not one bad look you can make with this palette. There are no colors that you put together that are gonna look bad. They're all gonna look amazing. And I just think this is one of the easiest palettes to use. I do know that some of the mattes are a bit similar, but I just love them. And these are my colors and my shades. So having similar mattes, it's gonna be okay, because like these are my go-tos all the time. Just great shades in this palette. And this was my first Natasha Denona palette, my intro to the brand. So this palette still makes me happy. I always wanted to buy a fresh one during VIB, and I was like, why would you do that? Staying with Natasha Denona, I used two of her minis in June. The first one was the mini gold. I talked about this in a couple of videos, but I wore this to a wedding. I showed it as a dupe for two of my Dior Quints. This is just a great, easy look. I have just been into the smaller palettes with the easy looks that I don't have to think about, that is like guaranteed it's going to look good. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. I also have the mini Zendo, which looks nothing like the mini. Another easy look, and I love that. And sometimes that simplicity is what I need in my life. Actually, a lot of times the simplicity is what I need in my life. And let's go ahead and end off this roundup with my Dior Quints. I have the Rosa Quint here. This is beautiful. This shade right here, so gorgeous. I did not film with this one, so I can, if you want to see that. It doesn't seem like people really like the Dior videos too much, but these are just really easy. That's all I can say. Can we find easy for cheaper? I'm certain, but this is just easy for me, and I did not really appreciate these as much as I do now. This is a newer one, but like the older ones, like let's see, I have Jungle right here, and at one point I really didn't like Jungle at all. I was like, what is this? But I created a really cute look with this. It's just quick, and you don't have to think about it. Just pick the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pick which 3 you want to use and keep it pushing. So I like that. I think if you really like sparkly, shimmery shades, you're going to be really underwhelmed by these. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. The mattes are great, and the blend that the shades do together are excellent. And I also have Golden Snow. I don't know where Black Night is, but I brought out Golden Snow, which was the holiday 2020 palette. Black Night is probably over there. Another really good one, you know, and I compared this one to Jungle and to that Natasha Denona Mini Gold, because the Natasha Denona Mini Gold is $25, whereas this one was like $60. I think with the Golden Snow Quint, and even with Jungle, this was like the first holiday launch I really paid attention to. So when I'm sorry, I have one more palette after this. When I think about the 2020 launch and holiday, I remember this coming out and just everybody was so excited. So sometimes I think about my eyeshadow palettes like I do my music, my CDs, like when I had CDs and stuff. Like I remember what was happening at the time. And I'm waiting for Marky, because you know the bus comes to the house now. I think about that with these. So these will always be kind of like a treasure in my collection for that reason. But yeah, now let's end off this video with the very last palette. And speaking of holiday 2020, this was another holiday 2020 palette. This was the Naughty Nude palette by Huda Beauty. This one was great. This was better than the Rose Quartz, I'll tell you that. Although I like Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz was a sneaky good palette for me. But this one though is just so like mauvey, rosy, sexy. This was great. You see, I had to take that unsexy shade out and put something else in there that I thought would go. But these mattes are great. The shimmers were great. I mean, it's just, this was just a beautiful palette. I am curious about what she's gonna do this year, because when she did her little layout plan, she doesn't have any eyeshadow palettes coming out supposedly until holiday, which is going to be the big palette. And I like that she only releases one big palette a year. It's easy for me to pass on like the little ones. Like I did get one of the little animal ones, but I just love that one each year. Now, let me know what you think. I was thinking about decluttering the new Nudes palette, which was an older one, and Mercury Retrograde. Like they're cool, but when I think about my Huda Beauty palettes, I'm gonna reach for Naughty Nudes like most of the time, maybe Rose Quartz, but I also have Desert Dusk, which no, that stays. I think that stays. But the Mercury Retrograde and the new Nudes, I don't even know if I'm gonna use those anymore. I definitely think that Rose Quartz replaces the new Nudes for sure. So anyway, that was just a side note. Anyway, that is what I tried in June. And I'm just really happy to report that a lot of this stuff is old. So it just helps me to be accountable and familiar with the things that are in my collection, the things that I'm reaching for. Is the makeup lasting, you know, at least for the shelf life that it has? Is it still performing well after the shelf life? Because eventually all this is gonna go bad, and then I'm gonna be sad that I have so much. So I gotta use it. And that is the plan, folks. All right, thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me today. Let me know what you are really enjoying in your collection in the comments. I would love to hear it. I hope this was therapy for you. It always is for me. So until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice. Stay safe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.